Have you ever wondered if the quarters in your pocket could be worth thousands of dollars? Most people spend them without a second thought, never realizing that some rare and valuable U.S. quarters are hiding in plain sight. Today, we're uncovering 6 ultra-rare and most valuable quarters that have shocked collectors with their incredible worth. From mint errors to high-grade rarities, these coins could turn your spare change into a small fortune. Welcome to HD Coins World, your go-to channel for rare and valuable coins. Let's start. Number 1. The 1971 D Washington quarter might look like an ordinary coin, but what if I told you that some of these quarters have sold for unbelievable amounts at auctions? Yes, hidden among everyday pocket change are rare varieties that collectors are willing to pay thousands for. Could one of these be in your collection? Let's uncover the secrets behind this ultra-rare and most valuable 1971 D Washington quarter. Before we dive into the astonishing values, let's talk about what makes this coin special. The 1971 D Washington quarter was minted in Denver, marked by the D mint mark just below the eagle on the reverse. Over 258 million of these coins were struck that year, making it a common issue at first glance. But among these millions, a few rare varieties and era coins have turned ordinary change into a collector's dream. What should you be looking for? Let's start with the striking errors. One of the most exciting discoveries in the 1971 D series is the double-die obverse. If you look closely at the inscriptions, particularly the words, Liberty, and In God We Trust, you may notice distinct doubling. This is a result of the die striking the coin more than once but slightly misaligned, creating a doubled appearance. Collectors go crazy for these coins because they are clear minting mistakes, making them unique. Another major error to watch for is the off-center strike. Some 1971 D quarters were struck incorrectly, causing the design to be pushed to one side, leaving a blank area on the coin. The more off-center the strike, the higher the value. A 50% off-center strike with a visible date and mint mark can fetch impressive prices at auctions. Then there's the wrong planchet error. This occurs when a quarter is mistakenly struck on a planchet meant for another coin, such as a dime or nickel. These errors are extremely rare and highly sought after. If you ever come across a 1971 D quarter that seems lighter or has a different edge, it might be one of these rare mistakes. Now, let's talk about the value. While a standard 1971 D Washington quarter in circulated condition is only worth its face value, those in mint state grades, especially MS-65 or higher, can command strong premiums. A high-grade example with no major scratches or wear can sell for hundreds of dollars. But here's where things get truly exciting. The rarest and most valuable versions of the 1971 D quarter, those with dramatic mint errors or in near-perfect condition, have reached astonishing prices at auction. Some of these exceptional coins have sold for amounts ranging from $1,100 to as much as $65,000. So, the next time you come across a 1971 D Washington quarter, take a closer look. You could be holding a small fortune in your hands. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible coin discoveries. Happy hunting! Number 2. Imagine this. You're grabbing a cup of coffee, and as you receive your change, something catches your eye. It's just a quarter, right? But what if I told you that one rare 1990 P Washington quarter, just like the one in your hand, has sold for thousands of dollars at auction? That's right. Hidden among ordinary coins are rare treasures that collectors are willing to pay huge amounts for. Today, we're diving deep into the ultra-rare and most valuable 1990 P Washington quarter. Could one of these be sitting in your pocket right now? Let's find out. The 1990 P Washington quarter was minted in Philadelphia, as indicated by the small P mint mark on the obverse, right next to Washington's ponytail. Over 613 million of these coins were struck that year, making it seem like a common coin. But don't let that number fool you. Some of these quarters have unique characteristics and errors that make them incredibly rare and valuable. One of the biggest factors in a coin's value is condition. A standard 1990p quarter in circulated condition is only worth face value. However, if you find one in mint-state condition, meaning it has no significant scratches, wear, or discoloration, its value can skyrocket. Collectors especially look for quarters graded MS65 and above because those are the ones that fetch premium prices. But here's where things get even more interesting: mint errors. These are what really makes certain 1990p quarters worth thousands. Let's start with the double die obverse. This occurs when the die strikes the coin multiple times but slightly misaligned, creating a doubling effect on the text or design. If you look at the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," you might notice slight doubling, making your quarter far more valuable than an ordinary one. Another major error to look out for is the off-center strike. Some 1990p quarters were struck incorrectly, shifting the design to one side and leaving a blank crescent on the other. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin. If the date is still visible on an off-center strike, collectors are willing to pay a hefty price for it. Now, let's talk about one of the rarest errors: the wrong planchet error. This happens when a quarter is accidentally struck on a blank meant for another coin, like a nickel or a foreign currency. If your quarter feels lighter, has a different edge, or appears slightly smaller or larger than usual, you might have an extremely rare wrong planchet error. So how much are these rare 1990p quarters worth? While a standard quarter from this year won't get you more than 25 cents, those in high-grade condition or with significant mint errors can be worth far more. The most valuable 1990p quarters have sold for anywhere between $1,625 to an astonishing $28,000 at auctions. This just proves that rare treasures could be hiding in your pocket, waiting to be discovered. Number 3. Most people don't think twice when they see a quarter. It's just another coin, right? Something you use for parking meters, vending machines, or loose change at the bottom of a drawer. But what if I told you that some of these quarters, specifically the 1979 D Washington quarter, are worth thousands of dollars? Hidden among millions of ordinary coins are a few rare treasures that collectors are desperately searching for. Could one of these ultra-rare quarters be sitting in your pocket right now? Let's find out. The 1979 D Washington quarter was minted in Denver, as indicated by the small D mint mark on the obverse, right below Washington's ponytail. With over 489 million of these coins produced that year, they might seem extremely common. And for the most part, they are. But not all 1979 D quarters are created equal. Some have rare errors or are in pristine condition, making them incredibly valuable to collectors. So, what exactly should you be looking for? First, let's talk about condition. If a 1979 D quarter has been in circulation for decades, it's likely covered in scratches, discoloration, and wear. While these are interesting to collect, they won't bring in big money. However, if you come across a mint-state quarter, meaning one that has been well preserved with a sharp, detailed design and no major blemishes, you're looking at a coin that could be worth significantly more. Now, here's where things get really exciting: mint errors. These are mistakes made during the minting process, and they can turn an ordinary coin into a rare collector's item. One of the most sought-after errors on the 1979 D quarter is the double die obverse. This happens when the die strikes the coin multiple times but slightly misaligned, creating a doubling effect on the letters and numbers. If you closely examine the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," you might see this doubling. If you do, you're holding a very special coin. Another valuable error to look for is the off-center strike. Some 1979 D quarters were struck incorrectly, shifting the design to one side and leaving part of the coin blank. The more extreme the off-center strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. If the date and mint mark are still visible on an off-center strike, collectors are willing to pay top dollar for it. And then there's the wrong planchet error. This happens when a quarter is accidentally struck on a blank meant for a different coin, like a dime or a foreign currency. If your 1979 D quarter feels lighter, has a different edge, or looks slightly different from a normal quarter, you might be in possession of one of these rare mistakes. Now, let's talk about the value. A regular 1979 D quarter in circulated condition is only worth face value, 25 cents. But if you find one in mid-state condition, especially graded MS-65 or higher, it could be worth hundreds of dollars. And if you happen to discover one of these rare era coins, the value skyrockets. Some of the most valuable 1979 D quarters have sold at auction for anywhere between $1,178 to an astonishing $56,000. So the next time you get a quarter in your change, take a closer look. You never know when you might be holding a small fortune in your hands. Have you ever found a rare coin in circulation? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible coin discoveries. Happy hunting! Number 4. Imagine digging through your pocket change and spotting a simple quarter, something you've probably seen thousands of times. But what if I told you that one specific quarter from 1973 could be worth thousands of dollars? Yes, among ordinary coins, there are hidden gems, and today, we're talking about the ultra-rare and most valuable 1973 Washington quarter. Could you be holding one of these valuable coins without even realizing it? Let's find out. The 1973 Washington quarter was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S mint mark for proof coins. Millions were produced, making it seem like a common coin at first glance. But don't be fooled. Some of these quarters have rare errors and high-grade conditions that make them extremely valuable to collectors. The first thing that determines a quarter's value is its condition. If you find a 1973 quarter that has been in circulation for years, it's likely worn out, scratched, and only worth face value. But if you come across a mint-state quarter, meaning one that has been well preserved with sharp details and a brilliant luster, its value increases significantly. Quarters graded MS-65 or higher are the ones that can fetch top prices at auctions. Now, let's talk about what really makes certain 1973 quarters valuable: mint errors. Some of the rarest and most valuable error types include double die obverse (DDO). This occurs when the die used to strike the coin creates a doubling effect, particularly visible in the letters of Liberty and In God We Trust. If you spot this doubling on a 1973 quarter, you might have a rare collector's item. Off-center strike. Some 1973 quarters were struck incorrectly, causing the design to be pushed off-center and leaving part of the coin blank. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the date is still visible. Wrong planchet error. This happens when a quarter is mistakenly struck on a blank meant for another coin, like a dime or a nickel. These rare errors can often be identified by a difference in weight or size. If your 1973 quarter looks unusual, it's worth checking. Now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for: the value. While an ordinary 1973 quarter might not be worth much, those in pristine condition or with rare mint errors have sold for incredible amounts. Some of the most valuable 1973 quarters have sold at auctions for anywhere between $60 to a staggering $4,400. Number 5. You probably have dozens of quarters lying around, tucked in drawers, scattered in your car, or mixed in with spare change. But what if I told you that one of those ordinary-looking coins could be worth thousands of dollars? Today, we're diving into the ultra-rare and most valuable 1981 D Washington quarter, a coin that has shocked collectors with its hidden value. Could you be holding one of these rare treasures without even knowing it? Let's find out. The 1981 D Washington quarter was minted in Denver, as indicated by the small D mint mark on the obverse, just next to Washington's ponytail. With over 575 million of these quarters struck, it might seem like a common coin at first glance. However, a small number of these quarters have unique characteristics that make them highly desirable to collectors. One of the first things that determines a quarter's value is its condition. Most 1981 D quarters that have been in circulation for decades will show signs of wear, scratches, fading details, and overall loss of luster. But if you find one in mid-state condition, especially graded MS-65 or higher, the value jumps significantly. Coins with sharp, well-defined details and no visible wear are the ones that sell for premium prices. Now, let's talk about what really makes certain 1981 quarters valuable: mint errors. These rare mistakes made during the minting process can turn a regular quarter into a collector's dream. Some of the most valuable errors include double die obverse DDO. This happens when the die strikes the coin multiple times but slightly misaligned, creating a doubling effect. Look closely at Liberty and In God We Trust. If you notice any doubling, you might be holding a rare and valuable coin. Off center strike. This occurs when the coin is struck incorrectly, shifting the design to one side and leaving part of the coin blank. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable the quarter becomes, especially if the date remains visible. Wrong planchet error. Sometimes, quarters are accidentally struck on planchets meant for other coins, like nickels or foreign currency. If your 1981 quarter looks unusual in size, thickness, or weight, it could be an ultra-rare wrong planchet error. Now, let's talk about value. While a regular, circulated 1981 quarter is worth only face value, finding one in high-grade mint condition or with a rare error can lead to an incredible payday. Some of the most valuable 1981 quarters have sold at auctions for anywhere between $3,750 to a jaw-dropping $32,000. Number 6. Most people see a quarter and think of it as just another coin, something to toss into a vending machine or drop into a change jar. But what if I told you that one specific quarter from 1979 could be worth thousands of dollars? That's right. Among millions of common coins, a few rare and valuable 1979 Washington quarters are hiding in plain sight. Could you be holding one without even realizing it? Let's dive in and find out. The 1979 Washington quarter was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S mint mark for proof coins. With hundreds of millions of these coins produced, they seem ordinary at first glance. But not all 1979 quarters are created equal. Some have rare mint errors, while others are in such pristine condition that they become highly sought after by collectors. So, what makes a 1979 quarter valuable? Condition is key. Most quarters from this year have been in circulation for decades, picking up scratches, discoloration, and wear. These worn quarters are typically worth only face value. However, if you come across a mint-state 1979 quarter, especially one graded MS65 or higher, its value can increase dramatically. The sharpness of details, lack of wear, and original luster all play a role in determining a coin's worth. But what really gets collectors excited are mint errors. These rare mistakes from the US Mint can transform an ordinary quarter into a small fortune. Here are some of the most valuable errors found on 1979 Washington quarters. Double die obverse DDO. This occurs when the die strikes the coin more than once but slightly misaligned, creating a doubling effect on the letters. If you notice doubling in Liberty or In God We Trust, you could have a rare and valuable coin in your hands. Off center strike. Some 1979 quarters were struck improperly, causing the design to be pushed to one side, leaving part of the coin blank. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the rarer and more valuable the quarter becomes, especially if the date is still visible. Wrong planchet error. Occasionally, a quarter is struck on a blank intended for another coin, like a nickel or a foreign currency. These errors are rare, and if you notice your quarter looks thinner, thicker, or has a strange color, it could be one of these highly collectible mistakes. Clipped planchet. This happens when part of the metal blank is missing before the coin is struck, resulting in a quarter with a noticeable chunk missing from its edge. These errors are rare but valuable to collectors. Now, let's talk about the most exciting part: the value. A regular 1979 quarter in circulated condition won't fetch much. But if you find one in high-grade mint-state condition or with a rare error, the value skyrockets. Some of the rarest 1979 quarters have sold at auctions for anywhere between $1,400 to an unbelievable $58,000. So, the next time you come across a 1979 quarter, take a closer look. You never know when you might be holding a hidden treasure. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing coin discoveries. Happy hunting!